After you watch this whole video, you will then discover that it's not that deep. Life in general is not that deep. And as long as you're still trying to make it deep, you are putting yourself in a position that is very vulnerable because you're not reaching your full potential, your full maximum. You're taking life too seriously and you're not seeing any growth. The more the effort that you're doing, the less the growth that you're seeing in your own life. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I simplified life in a very few steps that I've written down, and how these steps have changed my life for the better, and how I actually started to see real growth in my own personal life. And I'm going to share these things to you so that you can take one or two points that might help you as well to change your life for the better. The thing is, you might be looking for financial growth. You might be looking for growth in your relationship. Really, you are not seeing what your relationship is giving to you. You're not really happy with where you are with your relationship. There also, this video is going to help you. Maybe you're trying to look for growth in YouTube. Others are YouTubers and they're trying to look for growth in that line. This is also the video. Others are just trying to look for growth generally in their mindset or growing your sphere of influence. This is the video. All the good thing about the points is that they apply to everyone. They don't choose. And so let's dive deep into this particular video that I've written down. And most importantly, as you always know, I have my notebook with me. So my notebook with me is going to help me to get us to where we are supposed to get to, right? The very first point that I've written down is, it doesn't have to be perfect. Most people are waiting for the perfect time. They're waiting that the weather be sunny before they go out for a jog. They're waiting that, the perfection of the temperature in the room allows them to leave that blanket off and actually wake up in the wee hours to do the job that really matters most to them. They are waiting for the perfect time. This one I've touched a bit. But the elements of waiting for the perfect time is that you will have a challenge because the perfect time is not coming. If you're waiting for the perfect time to execute the plan that you've had in your mind for some time, I've got a bit of good news for you and bad news. I'll start with the bad news. The bad news is that you are not going to actually arrive at that destination called the perfect time. You're going to stay where you are. The good news is that this video is going to tell you exactly what I've just told you, and I'm hoping that you have an understanding that that plan is long overdue now. You have been holding on to that plan for a long time. It is actually time for you to go ahead and execute the plan. I know that maybe it's hard for you to actually execute that plan, but if you're waiting for the right time, that is never going to happen. Let's move on to the second point. Point number 2 is, you don't need all the pieces. You will find more pieces as you go. You do not need all the pieces to be together like this. I know that you have a plan, but if I'm going to ask you your plan from point A right up to the last point where you are supposed to arrive to the end goal of that plan, most of you, when you start a project, you do not know how big that project is going to be or how impactful that project is going to be. There is no understanding of how far-reaching that project is going to be. Those are just other pieces that are surrounding. The most important thing for you to have in mind, to hold on to, is the end goal. What is the end goal of where I'm trying to go to? And so when you finally reach the end goal, you are in a space now to then look back in your journey and see that most of the pieces that you were looking for when you started actually came along as you went along. So projects, plans, when you execute, you will find the resources as you go. God has always been one person who gives people instructions, not to the end of the road. They were told just to move towards the Red Sea. When they were moving out of Egypt, the Israelites were just told The first piece is just stand up and start moving. Move towards the Red Sea was the instruction. They did not know that when they get to the Red Sea, the piece that they needed to cross the Red Sea, they didn't have it as of yet. But they got it as they were moving. They got it as they had reached the Red Sea. If the peace that God would have wanted to give them and they were still in Egypt, it was going to be useless to them. The peace was given to them when they needed it most. So when you start your journey, you do not have all the pieces, but when you need it most, God is surely going to supply. So you do not need to have the solution to when you finally reach Mara, whereby the water is not, the water is, what do you call this? The water is sour and it's not so sweet in the mouth. The missing piece there is how do we make this water stop to be sour? God provides when you're on the ground. God provides when you're actually standing where you're supposed to be standing. That is when He starts to give to you that which you really need. And so I don't need to say much about the missing pieces. I just want you to know, man, that the piece that you will need, it will finally come to you when you are at the right place at the right time. So stop thinking too much about starting. Stop thinking too much about how you will get it or to whom. Some of these things are not for you to carry. When you finally get to Mara, God is going to make that water to be pleasurable for drink at that particular point. Let's move on to the next point. The third point is the mountain will always look too steep to climb until you take the first step. There's something that we have spoken about in this channel to depth. The ideology of procrastination, the ideology of taking too long to actually execute certain things in life, the ideology of, looking at a problem and glorifying a problem to the extent that you're so scared of actually going out and conquering that problem. And so when you look in a mountain from a distance, it looks like you cannot do anything. But you do not need to take 10 steps at once, or you do not need to jump the whole mountain at once. It's one step at a time and one step at a time until you look back and see that you've actually climbed over the mountain. So when the children of Israel, I'll be using the children of Israel as we are moving. As the children of Israel were moving, they get to a big Jericho, and spies are sent into this land, and they come back with reports. As they were looking at these particular people that were inhabiting Jericho, the first one said, "Look, man, there's a giants. These people are too big. I don't think we can conquer them." Most of them said the same thing. But Caleb and Joshua, let me slow down. This is a good point. But Caleb and Joshua made a different report. They said, "I think we can conquer them. God is going to fight for us." The mountain before you are these giants that are there. But if you look at this mountain from your own perspective, there's not going to be growth in any life because you're going to be and you're not going to be able to actually go forward and attack when you're supposed to attack. And so Caleb and Joshua had a different vision. That's the vision that I want you to have as you're looking at these giants. God does not give you smaller battles because He knows that you have a God that is bigger than these giants. And so when you're moving forward now, don't look too much. Don't focus on the wall of Jericho. Don't focus on that wall. It's too much for you to be focusing on it. The more that you're focusing on this wall, the more that you keep focusing on the wall, is the more that you lose the focus of whom is with you for you to actually conquer the wall that is before you. So if you want to see growth, I personally started to see growth when I'm no longer looking at giants ahead of me. I'm no longer looking at how big YouTube views are or how small. I'm not getting any audience at YouTube. The only thing I can do now for me to grow on YouTube is to keep posting. The things that I can control is to post and remember that the God who is for me is also with me in the journey that I'm taking, such that when we finally, when his time is right, I will get the views that I need to actually get the 4,000 watch time hours. So I know that this particular video is a video that I'll make one day when we finally conquered these particular projects of YouTube, because now we have not conquered. It's so hard for me to say it, but I know that I'm starting to see growth in terms of watch time hours, in terms of, even when the growth is small, it is a big mountain, 4,000 watch time hours, but one step at a time. That is, this what I'm implying is, I'm putting it out there to the universe that I'm going to conquer this YouTube algorithm thing, and one day we will look back with a victory and come back to this video and like, because we could have had, the mountain before us conquered. And so that's the third point that I've already given. And so we move on to the next one. Do it broke. Do it unmotivated. Do it broke is a big statement. Most of us are trying to start businesses. I don't know where you are watching from, but here in Africa, we have a problem because we don't have much of resources. We don't have much of resources. We keep trying, and so we don't want to start businesses. We don't want to start anything because we think we are broke. Do it when people are still laughing at you, Lola Lebrokula Kelly one. Do it at that particular time. But most importantly, do it unmotivated. Motivation is a superficial feeling that you get, but that pushes you to do things. The challenge with motivation, however, is that it doesn't last forever. It can come, but it won't last forever. It will be there for some time, and then the next thing you know is gone. You don't have it anymore. You can't find it anymore. There's no motivation anymore. This should have been the very first point in our video. However, it's coming in at number 6. I'll allow it to be because if you've watched up until this particular point of the video, God bless you. The next point is going to be fundamental. The next point is going to be of great help to you because it speaks about how you need to invite God when you are planning your things, when you are executing your things, and when you finally receive the blessing that you're praying for. You also need to glorify God. So there are 3 things that you can see there. It's not only when you're planning, it's not only when you're executing. Even when the prayers are answered, you still need to consult and speak to God. So the reason why I'm placing this point here is because you can do a lot of things and still be in vain. You can be the most busiest of people going all around and still not be productive, because productivity has nothing to do with productivity has nothing to do with doing a lot of things. And so that is the next point. Invite God that even in the minimum effort that you're putting in life, that He can be with you, that He can actually lead you, and most importantly, that He can give you the blessing when the time is needed. So when you want growth in life, don't do it alone. Always try to invite God as well. The 7th point is journal your progress. Journaling your progress allows you to have a record of where you came from, of where you're going to, and of how to avoid certain mistakes that you did in the past. I'm going to make a full video about journaling because journaling simply gives you numbers. Involve numbers when you're journaling to see the percentages. In whatever you're doing, involve numbers. Numbers speaks better than words sometimes, but also you can journal the way that makes you keep track of where you're going to, because when you start journaling your work, you are placing yourself ahead of yourself, because your mind has this tendency of forgetting. Once it starts to forget, you find yourself in the same situation that you were last year. And just because you did not journal, you are still in that particular same problem that you were. So continue journaling and putting the work together. Let's move on to the next one. When it feels hardest or you feel like giving up, press even more, because that's the moment of breakthrough. This is a powerful point because in the journey that you will take, it is not going to be all rosy. It is not going to be all nice. It is not going to be a perfect journey. The videos that you make are not going to be perfect. The people that you will meet are going to reject you sometimes. And the CVs that you're sending out, most emails that you will get are going to be, unfortunately, with regret, you did not get the job. But that should not stop you. That should be the starting point of you pressing even harder. So press harder the moment you start to see that this is hardest. EsiNdebeleni bathi bona ungezwa siduma kakhulu isizadabuka bakhuluma ngengungu. It simply means that when the drum is beating too loudly now, it's about to burst. When your situation is too hard for you now, you are about to get a breakthrough. And God is also watching when you are in the space where you are and you have the thought of giving up. I want you to know that that is the very moment that will decide and determine whether you'll make it or you will not make it. And that is the very moment that you need to do the thing that you need to do and continue pressing on. When you do that, you're sending a strong message to the universe that I am serious about what I'm doing, I'm getting to where I'm going, and it has no choice but to give it to you the way you are supposed to. I'm saying this, I'm starting to see real growth on YouTube. The views are not too much, but YouTube is the thing that for me, I'm trying to make monetized. And for the past 2 years, I've not gotten anything. And in the past weeks, I've started to post even more. And the idea of quitting keeps coming to me even more and more and more. But I'm starting to feel like my breakthrough is not too far from me. So I need to keep pushing, I need to keep posting, and I know that I will see real growth in this particular channel. This is something that I need to say. I know the title is saying that I started to see growth when I started doing these things. Some points, I'm seeing growth in my life, maybe financially or in other aspects. But some points, I'm still living the testimony I'm telling now. I know this is different, but that is just how this video is going to come out. So yes, when you feel like quitting, when it's too difficult, when you feel like this is going to be the end of you, that is going to be the starting point of your life. And you are going to conquer, you're going to make it. The next point, this one is a testimony. Don't compare yourself with others. If you want to see growth, focus on yourself. Narrow your path directly to where you are. Do not be looking, trying to see what others are doing, what other people are getting. Because remember, your chapter 1, you're trying to live like people that are already in chapter 10, whereas you're still in chapter 2. And so you do not know that they've reached their chapter 2 of their financial situation, and you're trying to live like them. That is the first mistake that you will do. You will be broke, you will be in debt, you will drown in debt trying to please the community around you when you compare yourself to other people. But when you run your race, you can be in a position to know that I've run my race, I've did everything that I need to do. And here I am on this particular moment. Even when it seems slow, I know that I'm doing my best for now. That way, you're not only going to see growth in your own land, but whilst you're seeing growth, you are also seeing a happy, peaceful time, which is a priceless thing when you're trying to find growth in this particular life. So that is the other point that we need to talk about. Do not compare yourself. Their chapter 10 is not your chapter 10. You're still on chapter 1. Focus on that. You have not found a job yet. Keep looking for a job there. You cannot be buying sneakers that they're buying because already they're getting a salary which you're not getting. You cannot be living in a suburb which they are living in because when you're still looking for a job, or your job is, you have found a job but it's not paying as much as they have. So comparison is the destroyer. And even your marriage, you can't keep comparing your wife to the wife next door. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You will never find happiness. You will never find growth as long as you keep doing the things that you're doing. And lastly, this is point number 10 as we get to the end of the video. Lastly, set clear goals. How are you expecting to find growth if the goal is not even clear? The people around you, because you're the leader, if you're a leader and the people around you do not understand the goal itself, the goal is vague, it's not so clear, you are not going to even reach that goal at all, because there is no clear goal, there's no clear target to where you're going to. You cannot reach it. Set clear goals in order for you to actually achieve these goals. And so once you're setting these clear goals, keep in mind that once a goal is clear, you are actually keeping the burden off your shoulders to carry it every time. No one is going to come back to you every 2 minutes to ask you, what do we do here? Because they know already what to do. The goal has been set, the goal is clear, and God being God is going to bless you. These are the 10 points that I did that allowed me to actually see growth in my own life. If you take these 10 points and make them your own, you will also see growth in your life. You can take 5 and leave 5. You can take 1, but I'm sure that out of all these 10 points, one of the points is actually going to be of impact in your own life. If you've watched up until this part of the video, I want you to know this. If you subscribe to this channel, it will be more than, it will mean the world to me, because it will mean that all these efforts are actually amounting to something. If you comment, subscribing is one thing because people subscribe and forget the channel. But if you do place a comment in this video, man, you would have made my day. Not just my day, but I like comments because they give me a window to the thoughts of the people that are watching this channel. What type of people are they? And then if you like the video, definitely I'm coming back and I'm making more content just like this one. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Until the next one, I'm out.